Hello and welcome to another episode of Mole Thoughts. My name is ChaosMole, and today I want to talk a little bit about the Settlers' new allies. Now, to make a few things very clear right from the get-go, this is not a review. I don't really do reviews, but I do thoughts videos, so I give you my honest opinion about how I feel about the game, what are the strong suits of the game, what are the kind of issues a game has, and then hopefully with all my thoughts, you can make a good decision on if you want to buy the game or not. Now, I cannot even do this on the Settlers. Why? Because I spent about 6 hours with the game, and after 6 hours, I just couldn't bring myself to continue playing this game. I just can't. And why that is, I will explain here. But before we do this, a few other things. First things first, nobody really got a review key for this game. Even the big review websites got their review key after the release. And you probably know what that already means when publishers/developers are doing this, that they are sending out their keys very close to the release, or sometimes even after the release. They're hoping that not too many people are reading about the reviews and just buy the game out of impulse. And yeah, I can totally see why they did it with the new Settler game. Another thing I have to say is I had some bigger tech issues. And the game was crashing sometimes, the performance wasn't always great, and I don't know if it is all the copyright protections Ubisoft is putting nowadays on your games. I think they are now at 3, or is it already 4? But they have like Denuvo, then they have VM Protect, then they have Uplay, and I think they are putting something else now on the games just to make sure the games are not getting pirated, which is completely stupid and insane, but we talked about this many times before. But enough of that. Let's talk about gameplay, shall we? The first thing you really have to think about is this is not a Settler game. It takes ideas and cues from the Settlers, right? But it isn't really a Settler game. It is much, much closer to what you would expect from an Age of Empires, but it is close enough to be a Settler game that basically you have 2 games in this game, and those 2 games are fighting against each other, right? It's clearly the team who wanted to be closer to Age of Empires, and then there is still part of the team who wanted to be closer to what a Settler game really is and what they have achieved with Anno 1800, because it's from the same team, right? And those 2 teams seems to battle most of the time about what you were doing in gameplay. So your goal is not really to build a striving settlement, but more like a, war economy. You are trying to build up your settlement just to produce more units, just to produce more weapons, and then crush your enemy. That's what all those gameplay is about, building up your resources you need to destroy your enemy. And now you might say, well, okay, cool, then this game is about combat, right? So yeah, it's a more Settlers combat-focused game. Yeah, but there are multiple issues with that. And I'm not even talking about what people expect from a Settler game. The problem is the battles themselves don't really feel great. Like the units react very slow. They sometimes position themselves in the wrong way. That I have my, you saw it actually a little bit earlier here, just a few seconds ago, right? Where I have my archers standing in front of my melee fighters and basically setting them up to get murdered. And it's just, it's infuriating. Another thing which is absolutely infuriating is the interface. I know like this minimalistic interface is becoming more and more common in games, but especially in strategy games, that shouldn't be the case. Give me as many information about what is going on my screen as possible. And the Settler is not doing that. There are too many moments where you're clicking on a unit and it doesn't tell you anything. Then you have to click on the unit again to get the more detailed information, like a melee fighter, and it says, this is a Guardian unit, this is your frontline unit. Oh, yeah, I know that. I can see that. It's a sword and a shield. But how much health does it have? How much damage does it do? Like, any information? No. It's the tier 1 combat melee unit. That's the information we're giving you. Oh, well, that is not very helpful, isn't it then? Right? It's like, it's a huge issue this game has when it comes to giving you the information you need, right? And it does a pretty bad job on that. And I can't explain it. Like, again, this is from the same team who brought us Anno 1800, which is a fantastic game. And they give you all the information there. They're really making you feel like you are playing a really good strategy game. This game is not, right? Like, you also don't see the health bars till you are clicking on the units, or you are choosing the units. That's another weird thing. Even in battle, you would expect a little bit more. And again, like, you were only building your settlement to build up your army. And sure, they put a lot of buildings into the game to kind of hide the fact, right? Like, you were not like immediately going for a coal mine to get the coal, and then the iron mine to basically get your iron, and then to create the swords. But you also need food, and you have to set up some wood workers before that, yada, yada, yada. Like, they added basically more steps into getting the item you need, but everything you are creating is for one purpose, and one purpose alone: build an army. And it's like, that's not how I have necessarily perceived the settlers. Yes, armies always existed. Yes, fighting always existed. I'm aware of that. But you always had the choice to just play the game and build your own little settlement and try to tweak the settlement and the economy. And that doesn't exist anymore. Like, your sole purpose is to build an army and to build the weapons you need for that. And yeah, they have multiple factions, which giving you some units here and there who are specializing in like some magic or in range fighters and something like that. But beyond that, it's kind of crazy that I have to compare this game to Age of Empires 4. Because as somebody who has played the Settlers around the same time when I played Age of Empires back in the day, and is still playing Age of Empires nowadays, and now having played this game, I would have never guessed that I ever have to compare the Settlers with Age of Empires 4. By the way, this is, if you have never seen this, this is how you are increasing the size of your borders. You have engineers, and then the more engineers you have, you can just tell them, okay, increase my border, so they're going out, and they're just putting the claim a little bit further up. That's how you're doing it in this Settler. It's alright. Feels a bit unrestricted. Like, the only thing you were doing at the beginning is you were trying to get as many engineers at the beginning, and then you send them out, and everyone's just trying to increase their border size. And then at some point you will clash against each other, and then the fighting begins. But again, everything is built on rapid expansion, and I'm fighting, which is a bit unfortunate. And I'm not even talking about the balance here. You have seen it right now here. This tower nearly killed me at the beginning. There's only one tower there, right? And that tower is completely decimating me thanks to their special ability. So what you should do is you should fall back, of course, and then wait. But towers are really strong. And it never clicked with me. Like, I can see that some people might enjoy this. I am not outright telling you not to play this game, but I think I have to set some expectations. Again, this is not a review. This is just my thoughts I had now after 6 hours of playing. Keep in mind, I've also played the betas back in the past, and I really have to ask myself a bit, is this really too different from what I've played a year ago when they had the last beta. And I don't really find a difference. I don't really find a difference, which is insane to me, because they postponed the game to make some big changes to the game to make it closer to how the settlers should feel. And I feel like they haven't achieved that. So maybe later down the road they will. We know that Ubisoft normally likes to stick around their games a little bit longer. But as I said, this game is not shaping up very well. And tech issues aside, I just blame my PC. Or maybe it's the year of tech issues for video games, who knows. But gameplay-wise, for a $60 game, was it 70? I think Ubisoft is already asking 70 for this. Check it. Check out your regional equivalent. If you are looking for the next Settler experience and you want to be closer to like the Settler 2 or the Settler 3, something like that, you will not find that here, to make that very clear. But yeah, I think that's all I can really tell you about the game. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like and to subscribe. Here on the Mole Undermanagement channel, we are also doing much more than just the Settlers. We are focusing on management, RTS, and building games. Company of Heroes 3 is coming up very soon here on the channel, in just 2 days. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. And we have tons of more games. So if that is your niche you want to play in, make sure to subscribe. With that said, let me also know what you think about the game and about the things I have mentioned in the video down below in the comments. And now, have a good one. Stay safe. Bye-bye.